Hi, today we are going to see a newsletter about unpicking vendor lock-in. So this is very important topic because today we have AWS, we have Azure, we have IBM, we have GCP, lot of different cloud providers in the market. And what is really important here is how we should not be locked into one vendor. For example, if you are very good with AWS, then you will use Lambda, you will use EC2, for example S3, and all your applications runs in EC2 and S3, right? And tomorrow you want to move from AWS to Azure. Azure has the Azure VM virtual machine, and then Azure has the Azure object storage, right? So how you going to understand, right? And if you're locked with one vendor and your cost is high and you want to move to another vendor tomorrow, and you may not able to move it if you are not keeping this thing in your mind, like how we going to no we should not have vendor lock-in basically. So there's a newsletter which is released from AWS recently, and we are going to see what AWS or Amazon suggest to have uh, infrastructure which is not no vendor lock-in. So I could go into this newsletter, and what this newsletter covers. Basically, it going to talk some introduction and unpicking of vendor lock-in, defining lock-in and switching cost from one cloud to another cloud, six lock-in consideration we have to do, minimum commitments or long-term contracts, licensing, data portability, application portability, service availability, and vendor innovation, cost. Anyway, cost is the key factor here. How the AWS cloud eliminates to eliminate lock-in. This is specific to AWS, how they're going to help us in terms of data migration, containers, VMware on AWS, DevOps tools to maximize the code portability, right? You move your code can be moved from one vendor to another, because that is where your application is built on. Your application is just built on top of the code. So then finally we're going to see the conclusion. Good. Let's see what is the introduction. So when we talk about Amazon and when we talk about AWS, what we talk about called service provider, right? Cloud service provider. That is the general term of who is giving servers or virtual machines to us. And these, when we are considering this service provider, we should not lock ourselves with one service provider by giving the full control, ownership, and portability of the data. So customers should be allowed to move quickly to another service provider. From Amazon, they want to move to GCP, then customer can quickly move to Amazon to GCP before the billing time. Like if it is a 1 month billing, right? So I can move out of Amazon to uh, Google in very short time, uh, before the billing, maybe. Yeah, that could be one tactics. So we never want customer to not trap in the lock-in or fixed price, mandatorily long-term contract, technical assets to change one service provider to another cloud service provider. These are the things, like when they have a contract with you, then you cannot change, and then you have fixed price or technical assets from moving one database from one cloud to another cloud. So this something is really important as you as an architect or I as an architect in any cloud. How we going to give a modular infrastructure to our customer or to our project so that they can move from one cloud to another cloud anytime of their choice. And that is what this newspaper is going to look about and give some practical approaches how to define, understand, and eliminate the source of vendor lock-in, right? And this paper is anyway based on experience from AWS, from their customers, millions of customers, how they are being not able to move or from another cloud, they want to come to AWS. So based on those experience, AWS has published this newsletter for us to know about the vendor lock-in. Yeah, sounds like interesting. Let's see what is the vendor lock-in is all about. So basically, as I mentioned before, customers should have a freedom to choose, like when they don't like, of course. And no they need when the customer wants to have specific needs, okay, they should see which what is the strength, right? Strength of choosing the cloud. So here AWS, anyway, they specify the strength of AWS is you can not be vendor binded. That is what they try to say. So AWS aim to solve the customer needs every moment of the day, and no, they provide on-demand pay-as-go basis, ensures our customers have the freedom to choose from broad range of innovative cloud services. The customers want to use AWS. Should a customer choose to move away, we make a simple possible solution. So basically, it's one tagline: customer choice and freedom are core principles throughout AWS. So that is where AWS has told in this contest. But it's important for we as an architect and cloud, or we as an engineer, we also should keep a mind like it's a customer choice and freedom always to choose the cloud. And that could be no different things, like if customer is running in the legacy database, customer can get many different types of databases in cloud. But the key point is it should not be constant, no, you should not have any contract, or customer should not bind it with the vendor, or you should consider different other scenarios to actually move the database and make the customer good. Okay, so in this case, let's assume the customer most scenario to avoid the lock-in, right? uh, we can switch from one cost, like one service provider, to another service provider based on the cost, which is called as trade-off. It should be always considered in your architecture, because you need to migrate data from one cloud to another cloud, hybrid cloud. And you need to train your staff, like you might be having everyone certified in AWS, but now you consider to go Azure. The all your resources, like all your engineers or AWS, and they want to move, they don't know anything about Azure. That also again, it's a problem, right? And what is really required is not only cost, it's all about time, flexibility, functionality, and sometimes, yes, financial cost is almost there, not only on cloud, but also investing on resources who knows Azure, or resources who know cloud, because you are migrating from one cloud to another cloud. You need to have the engineer, right? But the lock-in is also misleading in terms of technology. That is what AWS says, right? And we talk about lock-in by reading only about switching about cost, right? Only switching from cost, but you are also locking in because you are hiring the resources who is certified in AWS professional, or GCP professional, or Kubernetes. So the aspiration of the candidate, he wants to be he will be very much interested in work in AWS. So that is another way you are locking in your infrastructure related to AWS, because that resource is going to be always stock AWS and encourage AWS. All the solutions he going to provide is on AWS. So you understand, right? What is the clear point here? So you, when you use AWS, is in the solution technically you are locking in, but other way you are also locking in because of other criterias outside the technology. That is the key point here, which AWS tries to put out. And switching cost has been existed throughout the history of IT, right? For cost, switching of vendors from TCS to SCL to Wipro to Accenture, it always happens. And products, like today you use Zomato, then Swiggy, then Uber, any product you will use, right? You would like to switching the costs, you should decide to change, right? For example, we have Java, then you want to migrate to Node.js, you will have a cost for again, right? So always you will have a cost when you go from one cloud to another cloud. Even you will have additional cost. What that additional cost is? Migration, right? You are not going to get it, but this transition from one cloud to another cloud, moving of data is a cost. And if you calculate the cost of having having the cloud no overall monthly cost, and top of that you need to add this migration cost. That is why this is very important, you not actually lock in when you are doing this solution. So tomorrow you want to move from AWS to Azure, the migration cost it's not occur. So you can move anytime without the portability of changing your plan. Like I use a telecom plan, you can make your number portable. So how you are going to make a data portability? And not only to the customer point of view, how you in the organization point of view, how you going to make that portability. And that also is very important because each competitors, like cloud competitors, they provide the competitive different features for you, different vendor. You need to you so you can anytime you can move with the different plans, and you get the benefits. Like if you see there's a lot of offers from one telecom to another, you can switch your number and you can get the benefits. That is the competitive world, right? And using CSP native services. What is the CSP native services? Which is nothing but in AWS it is Lambda EC2. I am going to make a commitment to high value service from cloud service for business value that in turn, or I am going to take on the cost complexity by building it myself, or often confirming the lowest common denominators in favor of virtual portability. This is a very important question. Are you going to build your own complex solution, or are you going to pay the cost and get a solution? The answer is of course it should be the service that meets your business needs. They should not to spend resources to reinvent the wheel. If your needs can be met in service provider, as long as there is no switching cost, right? Basically you don't need to reinvent something for a business. If it is already available in cloud, the smart way is to just take it. For example, if you need machine learning capabilities, now they have a lot of machine learning algorithms, right, which has been available in the cloud. And that is the smart way that we should try to pick that machine learning algorithm, of course. And AWS has made a open source accessible wide possible audience, enabling customer to make their own technology of choice at the point of stack. For example, you might choose AWS native services to manage massive data sets, but you might also choose to drop Apache Spark on the AWS cloud compute, which is EC2 instance, to meet the need. It is not always the case that of having pick a cloud native service was the service that MSP, CSP offers. They said like you can either choose AWS native service, or you can install that service on top of the virtual machine. So that's how no you can choose. But it depends again when defining what is the business outcome, what you need to achieve. Doing the MSP offers can help you best solution for organization. Making everything easy to choose is not only consideration, it's a best to focus on adapting service which are best for our organization, right? This is a very important. So remembering the factor in switching cost into your evaluation of service provider, so you don't get locked technically or contractually. Build a plan that anticipates the potential switch to technology in the future, and evaluate vendors how they help to minimize the switching time and cost. You understand, right? Basically now cloud is offering lot more services for our business. We should understand what is our business need. Instead of we make a technical solution which is being custom, for example, and we stick to it. Tomorrow there's a lot of new services coming up. We are not using because we are custom. So we should understand what is your business need, and we should go with more and more uh, best solution for our organization. uh, not really like to build it ourselves, to also see how we can switch it. And so definitely that will minimize the cost because you are not developing something here, you're using something in cloud and pay for it. But how that should also help you to switch in the future. Let's see what Amazon says in the next consideration. We There is a six lock-in consideration which is very important here. A CSP always have breadth, depth, global reach, innovation, agility, reliability, and security of services, unless they access broad range of services. Right? Basically, all service provider they have their own depth, breadth, and then innovations, technologies, agility. They were innovations. So minimum commitments or long-term contracts, which you should go for. A CSP should not have mandatory minimum contract or mandatory long-term contract. Long-term contract should be offered as a choice for the customer's convenience and should typically come with the compensation features such as reduced pricing or commitments through life improvement of functionality and so it is not actually mandatory to have minimum commitment or long-term contract. That is what we have to see as a first point. And the key problem when it comes to these commitments are when they are mandatory, right? If you pay as go, it should be available. Pay as you praise, which is no contractual commitment provides from the customer in terms of VM. So you should not have any contract mandatory long term or minimum commitment. However, customers still feel to choose long-term contract if that fits their business need. Customers should keep in mind longer term contract should provide advantages over and above as pay as go contract. So they should get advantage when they go for long-term contract. And that is where we have this savings plan, service plan in AWS. The AWS guys know what I'm talking about, right? A CSP should give customer a freedom to choose whichever pricing content model suits for the workloads. This way they can adapt to the cloud and one time. So AWS is just suggesting to like how the cloud computing should be in this context, right? But AWS also says might be they might be thinking about it how freedom they can choose and pricing. So anyway, we will move on to second one, which is the licensing part. So a CSP should provide a licensing option for customer. Example include a marketplace. So marketplace the third party one, where the license purchase and multiple database offering robust open source software, alternative virtualization environment, support hybrid cloud, and tools to help the access and so you as you know like you can so when you switch from on premises to cloud you will use BYOL, bring your own license, right? And you also use that license when you go to any cloud because that license is owned by you. Whenever you use AWS or Azure you will use BLOY. But if you have a license in that license will be basically from the product you are using like SAP or Oracle. In this example, if you are Oracle, you have a license from Oracle, you can use Oracle from RDS from AWS or Azure database, but you will have your own license. So that is what that is what the key point here is. Licensing is very important because when you move from AWS to Azure, you are going to pay for a new license there, but you have still validity of AWS. So you cannot move from AWS to Azure because the license is still valid for next 6 months, right? So to avoid that lock-in period, they are saying bring your own license. And alternatively, customer can provide moving fully managed open source solutions. For example, instead of paying long-term connect and support fee for commercial messaging brokers and everything, so instead of license, you can go with more and more open source. So you won't consider license as a barrier or lock-in for moving from one cloud to another cloud. Because for example, Jenkins, you want to move from one cloud to another cloud, yeah, you can move it anytime because there's no license for Jenkins in this example. So I hope you got the second lock-in point. We have discussed let's second. Now we move to the third, which is the data portability. The CSP provides portability tools, services that enable customers to move data as needed on and off no CSP storage at any time. So now they say CSP should provide a storage on and off storage where we can move from one data to another data and cloud customers this something AWS says a shared responsibility model. Okay, so which is customers own the data and the infrastructure is owned by the cloud. So customer can move the data, migrate it to any cloud because the owner of the data is customer. Customer can choose any geographical location. Customer can download and delete the data even it is not needed. So the best practices, customer should request CSP a demo on their data portability tools or services as part of the cloud service evaluation process. So you should see what is the portability of data. If you want to go to Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud, you should ask Amazon a demo how the data portability works. Because if I move from my one cloud to another cloud, what you provide for me, because it's a shared responsibility model, right? We understand the third part. It's pretty clear. Data portability. The fourth one is application portability. To minimize the risk of vendor lock-in, application should be built and migrated to as flexible as loosely coupled. People talk about microservices, people talk about containers. That is where here it comes up. Use Docker containers that can be deployed virtually anywhere. Build using microservices to reduce the boomers changes parts on. So guys, if you are already into Docker, microservices, Kubernetes, then you are application portable people. You are loosely coupling your application. But if you are into virtual machines, blade server or tightly coupled, then you are not application portable guy. Then you need lot of different cost when you migrate one VM to one place to another cloud. So this is pretty clear. So we need to loosely couple our services, and then we need to build like open standards, Zen, SQL, KVM, and Linux, so that these open standards are available in any cloud, and you can easily move on. And for example, Windows, yes, of course, there are some license available. That's why they suggest Linux standard. So more and more, it is open source, and then it is available in all clouds. And then hyperscale, CSP provides standards that million of customers these. So yeah, so Amazon try to say what are they have providing for their customers in terms of application portability. But as a customer or as a engineer, we need to see what is very important for us. So our application components should interact with anything is a REST APIs, which is the popular industry standard using HTTP, JSON, OAuth application standard. I hope application peoples who's watching this can understand this, but it's very simple. Use APIs. Any business logic should be separated from application logic and be clearly defined and documented. This will avoid the need of display business rules case can migrate. So when if your business logic is with your application logic, then that going to be a problem. So just make application as application, business as a business. So business still you can run in whichever environment it needs, but application can be into different thing. DevOps tools. Of course, DevOps tool is required to provision the infrastructure in any cloud anytime. Terraform, CloudFormation, or Chef, Puppet, whatever you talk about, or infrastructure as a code. Guys, that helps you to move your application faster from one cloud to another cloud. That is very much required. Container technology, we already talk about it. They have got Kubernetes, and I have done a lot of videos on Kubernetes. I love Kubernetes, and you can see check out my videos of Kubernetes, of course, and do yourself hands on. I will support you. Comment it. I can give you the commands. Practice the Kubernetes very well. Then you are moving out of application portability. Any cloud you are expert. If you know Kubernetes, you can run your application on any cloud. Yeah. Then we will move on to the next point, which is our fifth: service availability and vendor innovation. What is service availability? Basically, when we choose the CSP service provider, we need to see what is their innovations and service availability. So highly available flexible service on the market may moves away. So there is a lot of newsletter coming, right? Recently Amazon also faced this downtime in Frankfurt due to some issues. When we talk about Amazon or when we talk about Azure, it's a big vendors. When you go with small vendors, right, you need to see how safe it is, right? How safe their data center is. And there is no reason to choose their services if they are already have a lot of downtime for the data center. So vendor lock-in is an important factor, but it's not only a consideration when adopting the new technology. Yeah, of course, when you should not always think about vendor. You also should what is the innovation, new services coming in the cloud, and that is one key criteria. Because if innovation is not happening in this cloud, then innovation will happen in another cloud. So, but when you are, it's very important to see when the innovation is happening in another cloud, you can move from this cloud to another cloud. And that is where Amazon suggests they have this partner network. where they have multiple partners who is supporting the customers. If you face any issues, then the Amazon partner can help you out here. So services, we have lots of AWS certified resources who can help you out here, and a lot of techies. But what about the cloud where there's no certification or no techies available? Then moving to that particular cloud is very going to be difficult. So you should see, that is very important to see. You the CSP provides the business winning process, right? The knowledge they have put into their sources, like their databases or their websites, that is very important, and that we should consider, so that we can able to no they have they have this partner who can help us to migrate from AWS to Azure, maybe because they have that available third party services, and still we can use TCS, Wipro, SCL, almost every service provider, service companies, right? The final one, I think so, it's a cost. It's a very important key factor of operational efficiency for the customer. So the major reason we can go out is about cost. And AWS operates as a massive scale and standard service, self-service manner. And we have reduced the prices 107 times, largely in the absence of competitive pressure. Because of the competitive pressure, AWS is trying to give lower and lower price, no, reduce the cost. And because we are confident that our speak to our service, and that service quality of the customer want to stay with AWS, so they want the customer to stay with AWS a longer time. So they're considering that they are just go cutting the cost down. So that is what they have told. Now we have completed those six key lock-in methodology, which is very important to as a customer to have us. Now we're going to discuss about how to how the AWS cloud helps to eliminate the lock-in. This is very related from AWS telling us how they can help us in these terms. So the first key point is here, data migration. That's a point we have discussed in the earlier thing also. So data owned by us, and the cloud should have a tool where we can move our data from one cloud to another cloud. So AWS has online data transfer hybrid cloud storage, so we can put it into S3 and we can download it in different cloud. Offline data migration to S3, and they have this direct connect which connects to any cloud. If you want to make networking to any cloud, then they have this service called direct connect. And if you want to have data replication like NFS file sharing, then the AWS data sync is also available. And then they have this different services in storage: AWS storage gateway, file gateway, tape gateway, volume gateway. And they have the some third party partner products, no, when we need to have cloud storage, moving from on premises basically, and migrate the database from AWS quickly without downtime. They have this AWS database migration service. Migrate virtual machines, they have called cloud endure. Read and write S3 long geographical distances, we have S3 transfer acceleration. Collect and ingest multiple streaming data source, they have Kinesis and data store. Push backups and archives, the minimal technology. So these are something AWS is providing to the customer, not to lock in with AWS. So you can move to any cloud. Physically transport data. So Snowball, physically transport data, again Snowball Edge, migrate tents. Okay, these are some services. Containers, of course, all cloud has Kubernetes, Docker. So it's not only with AWS, but of course AWS have the services which is called ECR, Elastic Container Registry, for keeping the images. ECS, which is the native container orchestration tool from AWS. They have the EKS, which is Elastic Kubernetes Service. Fargate, I love Fargate. It is serverless containers. And EC2, again, it's a virtual machine. You can install containers on top of EC2 as well. So they have all this way. And what is very important, VMware on AWS. There is a VMware on Azure. There is a VMware on IBM. So if you are running your VMware, vSphere or vCenter, the VMware guys can understand what I am talking about. And that same vCenter can be operated in Azure, or the same vCenter can operated in IBM, you can move your VMs. So that could be one service. And we need DevOps tool, right? So what are the DevOps tool AWS is providing is AWS Code Deploy and AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So Elastic Beanstalk covers .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Nginx, Passengers, IaaS. But AWS Code Deploy is just to no deploy into your VMs or without downtime. No, you can use it for deployment because you build a code from your GitHub repository. From there, you can deploy to environments, right? And they have AWS Code Store, Ops Work, System Manager, Code Commit. Code Commit is nothing but the Git. You guys can go through all these tools, but this is something AWS is providing. And now we come to the conclusion part, guys. Excellent part. If you went through complete my video, you will be able to understand how you can have your infrastructure or applications to be configured without vendor lock-in. A major benefit of the cloud it provides is customer the ability to move from any cloud to any vendor, and service providers should not place any impediments on these benefits to technically or contractively. Like service providers should not ask you to sign a contract for 1 year, or like should not make you technically challenge no, not having a tool to migrate your database. So we are confident that AWS cloud services speak themselves. The comparison other vendors and other customer obsession key focus on freedom of tools that include us. So the conclusion is yes, AWS is giving the freedom of tools. They have lot of blogs about it to read about vendor locking. But guys, I hope you understand that what is required from our end to not to lock with the customer. It could be any cloud. We should consider the key parameters of not having the contract long term or minimum term. Go more and more open source. Have We are the owner of data, so we should consider about the shared responsibility model, that the cloud should have the tools to migrate our data and we should own our data. Application portability, we should have the container model, Kubernetes, and we need to have DevOps tooling in the place. Service availability and vendor innovations, like they should have the vendors, third party people, and certified people who can help us. And then also not help, at least the people who know about the cloud. And then cost, that is a very important thing, and AWS says they are reducing the cost every week. Like not every week, of course they are reducing it. If we are running our workload in Azure and we feel AWS is giving cheaper, we can move to Azure from AWS. Of course Azure should have a tool to move it. So that is where this data migration is coming into the picture. I hope you will be understanding what are the things we should know about the cloud when when we choosing a cloud and when we want to run our workload in the cloud. Or this session could be helpful for you guys to understand the newsletter of AWS published and to us on this topic. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'm going to take more and more newsletter for you guys so that you can spend some time with me to understand the updates coming out from different newsletters from AWS or any cloud which I feel is really interesting. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.